Hello everyone, welcome back. This is going to be part 5 of my iPet Go 2 series breakdown. This video is going to specifically cover the events of 2025 and what iPet Go 2 shows us is going to happen in the year of the snake. Okay, I've already released 6 videos. Please go check them out. They build upon each other. I'm not really sure why, but I can't even find my own videos if I go and search YouTube's most recent videos on iPet Go 2. Please go check out my channel to actually find them. So my main revelations is that each head or character in the classroom scene represents one Chinese New Year or one calendar year essentially, and all the events in iPet Go 2 after the classroom scene show in sequence what the events are going to be from 2023 on to 2030. One of the revelations, the top and bottom of the stock market is represented by the tops and bottoms of the head in each of the classroom scene characters. So if we look at our classroom scene, we have each one of the calendar or Chinese New Year's, okay, moving from 2017 all the way to 2029 and beyond. And you can see the tops of their heads represents the top or bottom of the stock market in that respective year, okay. If I come back here, each time the video shows the human spirit character, okay, it is a scene cut or a cut scene into a new year. So this video will cover 2025, okay. So this is very important, is that every time we see this character, it's actually a cut scene by iPet Go to show you that we are moving into a next Chinese New Year or new calendar year, okay. So one revelation I want to cover before 2025 is I think I've discovered when the go time is for the events shown. So Lily here, as soon as she drops the apple, I believe that that's go time for all the events. And this dropping of the apple, I believe, is related to Jupiter. Okay, so the apple represents Jupiter. When she drops it, I believe it's showing retrograde motion. Okay, so Jupiter starts retrograde on September 4th of 2023 and ends on December 31st, 2023. Heliofont just happens to delete all the videos around September 4th, 5th, or 6th, so I believe this is the go time. And my new revelation here, this is all covered in my previous video, okay, so go see that. This new revelation is that this coin under Obama's shoe, I've never really been able to figure it out, but I think that it is displaying the first minting of a coin with the new king on it. So in Canada, where I live, we have our coins minted with the monarchy leader. Okay, so we've had all of our coins with the queen on them, and actually in November 14th, 2023, we got the first batch of the new coins with the king on it. So did Heliofont predict that the queen was going to die, that we were going to get these new coins even before Jupiter hits the shoe? Okay, so as soon as Jupiter hits the shoe, that's December 31st, but we see this shoe and this coin before that. So I think Heliofont is giving us this timeline that we're going to see this minting. Then Jupiter will hit the shoe and end its retrograde motion on December 31st. And then this event that I've covered in my previous video in Hawaii will begin. Okay, so that's it for 2023. That's the last revelation. I'm going to move on to 2025, the year of the snake. So just know that the years shown in iPet Go 2 are Chinese New Year's and not start exactly on January 1st to December 31st. This gives Heliofont the ability to use imagery, okay, to signify the passing of time instead of just numbers. So in 2025, the New Year starts on January 29th, and the New Year for 26 starts on February 17th. Okay, so this is the year of the snake. So in iPet Go 2, I covered 2024 last part. So after the scene with the egg, we see the Anubis boat again with the human spirit, and then we move into the man in the television scene connected with a snake directly into the child's skull. Okay, so in 2025, if we look at iPet Go 2, I've taken screenshots of what I believe is going to happen. So we can see here part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll cover each one in the next separate slide. So part 1, child is being harassed by this TV. It's clearly shown that this TV is connected to a snake, okay, and the snake is laying next to the child. I think Heliofont is clearly telling us that this is the year of the snake, okay, 2025. This snow blowing, I believe, is signifying that it's the start of 2025. Okay, so this is the first part of 2025. The inaudible speech from the TV, if you guys can comment, I know there's been some breakdowns of this. It's very difficult to hear or understand. I think it's telling us something. But are the elites oppressing the population even harder here at the start of 2025? Another confirmation, I think, that this is the beginning of the year is the earring that the TV character is wearing does look very much like a partial eclipse. Okay, and we do have a partial eclipse on March 29th, 2025. So is this scene happening around the time of that? The next scene is the child laying on the ground with the medication next to him. Are we in for another medical event in 2024 or in 2025, which might have carried over from 2024? If we go back to the classroom scene, we see the character for 2024 and 2025 here. 2024 is clearly behind barbed wire, and 2025 we can see is also behind. In the classroom scene, the character from 2022, which was our C the V medical event where we were locked down, was clearly behind barbed wire. So are you ready for another potential lockdown? Will this cause more unrest around the world? Are they simply breaking everyone's spirit, preparing us for the next eventual event, which I believe is war? So let's look at that next scene, as this is the most replayed part of IPEC Go 2, I think. This scene where the child has markets crash, war coverage, I think is in 2025, okay? The markets plunge. When should we expect to see this? Well, if we look at the classroom scene, I think that the head of 2026, okay, this character here, is almost overlapping halfway through 2025. So I wouldn't expect this market crash event to begin any later than the end of summer or beginning of fall 2025. And how bad will this market crash be? Well, if we compare the heads, the top of the heads across the classroom scene, 2026, the top of the head is actually lower than 2020. So market crash from the medical event in 2020 was very severe. I think we're going to see a market crash that's even worse come 2025. So where does this lead us into the war? We see the 3 bombers attacking the mosque. Is this retaliation or preemptive? What I mean by that is, have tensions been building? Okay, remember the Osama scene from the 2024 breakdown where hit with him on the ship, all the missiles in the background. Has there been tension building purposely so that this is a retaliation event or seen as a retaliation event? And the location. So this is a big part, is where is this happening? The Islamic Star clearly indicates that this is a mosque. Okay, so somewhere in an Islamic country. I will cover this in my next slide. But the time frame, I think, is clearly given here when this mosque destruction will happen. As when the mosque collapses, we see that the star is clearly illuminated in what looks like another partial eclipse. Heliophan is very particular about showing us these time frames, usually using eclipses or constellations to do so. So I think this is showing us that we will be in September 22nd around time frame when this event happens. Now the location, let me just minimize this here, I believe is Turkey. Okay, and many other people have thought that it is Turkey as well, and I will cover exactly why. So in the mosque, in IPEC Go 2, it only has 1 minaret or tower. I searched Turkey with 1 minaret, and there seems to be, it's very unlike most mosques. So there is one unique mosque called the Mirama Sultan Mosque, okay, here in the region of Istanbul, okay. This region just so happens to be called the Golden Horn, okay. You can see from this video here, this is called the Golden Horn. Now, if we look at IPEC Go 2, I've always found this very strange. The coloring, okay, of the gold in this image. We see gold in the background. We see gold clearly displayed on these skyscrapers. And this mosque seems to be sitting on a rhinoceros horn. I don't think that's too much of a stretch. It clearly looks like a horn. Okay, that is clearly a rhinoceros double horn and the golden color. So if we look more at this golden horn region in Turkey, there is a suspension bridge, okay, that spans the golden horn. There's skyscrapers in this region, as this is the main city. And this mosque, like I said, only has this one minaret, which is a very distinctive feature for these mosques in Turkey. So let's continue on. Why I think this is the Golden Horn area. This is a picture of it, okay? So we can clearly see the suspension bridge. This little commuter bridge down here that's shown could be this guy here. We have our skyscrapers and city, okay, in the background. We have the mosque, and the mosque would be located up and around this area over here. Okay, if I actually found, I don't have a picture of it, but it is located up and around this area. And if I put a pointer here in the world, it's right in the middle, right here. So anywhere better to start a war than right in the middle of tensions between pretty much all the players. Okay, the EU, the Africa, Russia, you know, pretty much everyone would be involved in this area. So war continues. Okay, this is the last scene of 2025, so I expect it to continue to escalate. We see the ravens coming out. I believe this representing death and more destruction as this continues on. And if we link back to the classroom again, in 2025, we see that the top of the head is slightly higher than 2024. So I believe that there could be a slight recovery in the markets at the start of the year. But then come September or even the end of summer, I expect a big major crash and the start of the war. And again, the characters in 2024 and 2025 are behind barbed wire. So does this confirm the medical events, lockdowns? Are we ready for another one of those? So after this mosque attack, we have another cutscene where the human spirit burns the peace figure, and then we move into this scene where the dancing figure is blown back by some sort of explosion. The year 2026 is the year of the horse, and as we can see from the print screens here, which I will cover in my next part, I believe the war really escalates into a full-blown world where the entire world is affected, okay, and I will cover each one of these scenes separately in my next part. So again, just the major takeaways here is please let me know your takeaways from this golden horn, okay, distinctive, strange region in Turkey, trying to match with this mosque attack region with the golden color here. So thank you so much. I'll be back with my next part.